The world's power balance is shifting, and new alliances are emerging on the global stage. At the heart of this transformation is BRICS, a group that's redefining what global influence looks like in the 21st century. Originally, BRICS was just an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and later South Africa, emerging economies once seen as the future engines of global growth. For years it functioned as a loose forum, not a formal institution like the United Nations or the World Bank, but a space for dialogue and cooperation. But in 2024, BRICS made a bold move, expanding its membership to include Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, bringing in new voices and perspectives. This expansion signaled BRICS's ambition to become a true global bloc, one that could rival existing power structures. Now, BRICS represents a massive share of the world's population, economic output and energy resources, spanning continents and cultures. It's no longer just a talking shop, it's evolving into a real alternative for countries dissatisfied with the Western-led system, offering new opportunities for collaboration. While the group's main focus is economic, its growing influence is deeply political, shaping debates on global governance and development. BRICS members are pushing for a more balanced world order, challenging the dominance of the US dollar and the rules set by Western financial institutions. They've even created the New Development Bank, which offers loans and financial support without the strict conditions imposed by the IMF or World Bank, giving countries more flexibility. The goal is to promote trade and investment among members, using their own currencies and systems, and to foster economic growth on their own terms. Dozens of countries from Asia, Africa, and Latin America are now expressing interest in joining, seeing BRICS as a pathway to greater independence and opportunity. BRICS is fast becoming a platform for nations seeking to write their own rules, not just follow the West's, and to have a stronger voice in shaping the future. Its expansion marks a clear move toward a more complex, multipolar world, one where power is shared and new possibilities are emerging for global cooperation. The idea of an EU country joining BRICS would have been unthinkable, a Western ally joining a bloc with Russia and China. Such a move would signal cracks in Western unity and challenge the EU's shared identity. It would spark fierce debate. Is the EU strictly a Western club, or can its members build bridges with non-Western powers? If even EU nations seek alternatives, BRICS's appeal is broader than many thought. This would force Europe to rethink its role in a changing world. For the US, it would be a blow to its leadership. For BRICS, a huge legitimacy boost. It would show BRICS isn't just anti-Western, but a global platform for diverse systems. The symbolism of an EU flag at a BRICS summit would mark a new era in global politics. The world would have to adjust to a more complicated multipolar reality. Why are so many countries drawn to BRICS? What is it about this alliance that's capturing the attention of governments around the world? It's about having more options, more ways to shape their own futures, and more partners to work with on equal terms. Many nations see the post-1-2 global system as outdated and dominated by the West, with rules that often don't reflect today's realities or the interests of emerging economies. Western institutions like the IMF and World Bank often attach political strings to their loans, making it harder for countries to pursue their own priorities. BRICS offers a different path, economic opportunity without interference, and a chance to collaborate on projects that matter most to their people. The bloc represents huge markets and rapidly growing economies, opening doors to trade, investment, and technology that can transform entire regions. The New Development Bank provides financing without the same conditions as Western lenders, giving countries more freedom to choose their own development paths. Politically, joining BRICS gives countries a bigger voice and a seat at the table for global decisions, allowing them to influence the rules that shape the world. It's a chance to move from being rule-takers to rule-makers and to help build a more balanced international order. BRICS's principle of non-interference is especially attractive to countries with diverse political systems who want to protect their sovereignty. The bloc's diversity, democracies and centralized states, shows cooperation is possible without political conformity, and that respect for differences can lead to real progress. For many, this is a refreshing alternative to the Western model, offering a new way forward in a changing world. BRICS is seen as a coalition based on mutual respect, shared interests, and practical benefits that go beyond politics. That's why dozens of nations are lining up to join, hoping to shape the future, not just watch from the sidelines. Why would an EU country consider BRICS? The answer is pragmatic self-interest. Some EU nations, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, feel left behind by the current EU structure. BRICS offers access to fast-growing markets and investment, especially from China. Joining could help secure better trade deals and attract investment for key industries. Strategic autonomy is another motive, reducing dependence on the US and diversifying foreign policy. Energy security is crucial. BRICS now includes major oil and gas producers, offering more stable supplies. In a world where energy is a political tool, these ties could protect economies from shocks. Europe's economic center of gravity is shifting toward Asia and the global south. Joining BRICS would be a bold move to adapt to this new reality. It's about securing prosperity in a multipolar world, even if it means challenging old alliances. Turkey, though not an EU member, offers a glimpse of what might happen if a European country turned to BRICS. A NATO ally and longtime EU candidate, Turkey announced its interest in BRICS in 2024. Frustrated with stalled EU membership, Turkey is seeking new partnerships and leverage. BRICS offers economic opportunities, new markets, investment and financial systems outside the US dollar. This logic could appeal to any EU country feeling left out or economically stagnant. But Turkey's move has alarmed its Western allies, raising questions about loyalty and strategic balance. If an EU member did the same, the backlash from Brussels and Washington would be intense. The dilemma: can a country balance both camps, or will it be forced to choose? Turkey's journey is a test case for Europe's future balancing act. If an EU country joined BRICS, the reaction from Brussels and Washington would be swift and severe. It would be seen as a betrayal of European unity and a threat to the EU's common foreign policy. The country could face political isolation and penalties within the EU. Emergency summits and heated debates would follow, questioning whether dual membership is possible. For the US, it would be a major strategic setback, undermining decades of transatlantic alliance. Washington would pressure the country to reconsider, warning of risks to security and cooperation. Economic fallout could follow. Trade, investment, and technology sharing might be disrupted. Companies could hesitate to invest in a country caught between rival blocs. The decision would force a painful reevaluation of alliances and trust across the West. Joining BRICS would be a seismic act, reshaping the Western world's future. The entry of EU countries into BRICS would mark a turning point in the shift to a multipolar world. Such a move would not only be historic, but would also send shockwaves through the existing global power structure, challenging long-standing alliances and assumptions. Power would no longer be concentrated in the West, but spread across multiple centers. This redistribution could foster new regional leaders and encourage emerging economies to play a more active role on the world stage. Alliances would become more flexible, with countries partnering based on interests, not ideology. Nations might shift allegiances more frequently, seeking the best opportunities for growth and security. A nation could be a NATO security partner and a BRICS economic partner at the same time. This dual alignment could blur traditional lines, making international relations more dynamic and unpredictable. This new order brings both opportunity and risk, more voices but also more competition and instability. The increased diversity of perspectives could lead to innovative solutions, but also to greater disagreements and rivalries. Parallel economic systems could emerge, one around the US dollar, another around BRICS currencies. This could reshape global trade, investment, and even the way nations measure economic success. Countries would have to navigate between these systems, increasing complexity and uncertainty. Decision-makers would face tough choices about which alliances and markets to prioritize. The dream of a single global market would give way to competing blocs. Economic fragmentation could become the new normal, affecting businesses and consumers worldwide. The idea of EU members joining BRICS is a symbol of deep global change. It reflects a world in flux, where old boundaries are being redrawn and new partnerships are taking shape. Old certainties are fading, a new unpredictable era is beginning. The pace of change is accelerating, leaving many to wonder what the future will hold. How nations adapt will shape whether the future is defined by cooperation or conflict. The choices made today will echo for generations, influencing peace, prosperity, and stability. The game of global politics is changing, and every country must learn the new rules. In this evolving landscape, adaptability and foresight will be more important than ever before.